Okay, funny story. My wife was listening to my podcast the other day. Yes, she does that. And she said, what's this thing called Whatnot you keep talking about on your podcast? Are you shopping without me? Yes, I am. I'm cheating on you. It's called Whatnot. It's live shopping with chat, and it's a lot of fun. Look, I coach a lot of people online. I coach people to make money online. Most don't know how to do it. And I have been telling a few lately to go to Whatnot, see what they're doing, and give it a try. If you're a Whatnot seller, you really shine, and your people find you. And that's a big deal because if you're selling online, they need to find you for you to make money, right? And then they become repeat customers because they see your face, not just your logo. Whatnot is the largest dedicated live shopping platform, whether it's beauty, it's collectibles, electronics, luxury, fashion, even cookies. Yep, cookies. Sellers are building real thriving businesses. Anyone can do it too. Some people on Whatnot are selling, get this, 10 times as much as they do on other major marketplaces. And you don't know this, but Whatnot buyers spend more than an hour on the app every day. They're not browsing. That's why they call them buyers. They're buying your stuff. So here's how it works. You go live, you showcase your products, and you earn real income. Search Whatnot, WHATNOT, in the App Store, download, and you can start selling right away. So I've been talking about the glasses I ordered from Zenni Optical, my sponsor. Now, I've never ordered glasses online before. I didn't trust it, to be honest. But mine had a scratch, and Zenni was my sponsor, so I kind of sort of had to do it, right? I mean, I can't tell you about it if I haven't done it. So my previous thinking was, prices are too cheap. These can't be good. I'm not going to like them. I'm picky. I take that back. Mine costs about $70, and I can't tell the difference from the $500 pair I purchased 2 months ago. By the way, my wife likes them too. She said they look good on your face, and I want some too. And at about $70 or less, I can buy them. I am surprised, and I'm a customer. Zenni Optical has prescription glasses, sunglasses, blue light lenses, all starting at under $30. Go to Zenni.com, pick a frame, upload your prescription. They'll ship it to your door. No appointment, no store, no upsell at the counter. And Zenni has that virtual try-on, so you can see exactly how the frames look on your face, and that is very cool and confidence building. If your glasses are overdue for a refresh, now it's time. Go to Zenni.com/podcast and use the code podcast15 for 15% off your first order. The styles sell out pretty quick, so don't sit on this. Go to ZENNI.com/podcast, promo code podcast15.
Never give up, fighting till the end, gotta get back up. No time for loss, fighting till the end no matter what the cost. Keep moving, gotta get back up. What? Keep moving, gotta get back up. Keep moving, gotta get back up. What? Keep moving, gotta get back up.
All right, so a couple of days ago, I'm talking to some listeners of the Daily Wiz podcast, and they said, Scott, what happened to the It's been gone for a couple of months. Where'd it go? And I said, I don't know. I forgot to do it. They said, I missed the Well, I don't know. It's back. Anyway, today I was on a coaching call with a bunch of cool people, and we got on the topic of labels. Now, I'm not talking labels that are on the back of a soup can or something like that. I'm talking how you label yourself, your identity, how you label who you are for yourself, how you label who you are in the eyes of other people, and how other people see the label that's on you. How do you categorize yourself? Who are you? And is it impacting? You better believe it is. And we'll talk about that a bit today as we get into it. It is a daily boost from motivationtomove.com. The positive boost you need every single day since 2006. My name is Scott Smith. Good to have you. And squawking out the voice today. By the way, for those of you who are wondering, and thank you for all your caring emails, I did go to my doctor. I had an annual coming up, so I just kind of waited. Thought it would go away. Went there and I said, Doc, what's going on? Am I dying? Do I have allergies? Is there a sickness in my throat? He goes, no, that's all good. You must have acid reflux. I was like, wait, I can't feel a thing. He goes, well, you must have had it at some point. So we have a diagnosis. So hopefully within a few days, it'll feel better. Strange. I've had it before. I didn't even know it this time. But anyway, that's what happened. If you are a listener of the Daily Wiz podcast, and if you get my Daily Nugget email, today you would have noticed it changed a little bit, moving in a little bit different direction. When I first started the Daily Boost almost 20 years ago, I did everything based on bullet points. And I just felt like it was time to kind of go back to that a little bit and less of a narrative, because what was happening is this. I couldn't do a podcast till I wrote a narrative for you. And I was not writing the narrative, so it was kind of messing with me. So if you get that email, you're getting the actual notes that I am referencing word for word as I do this podcast, just so you know. All right, let's get to it. No sense in wasting any time, right? The conversation this morning is kind of interesting. And they always are. Whenever I get on a coaching call, we just go deep. It's just amazing what happens. There's a real magic when you get a few people on a call and they all know each other. And listen, new people come in all the time and they don't know anybody. Within a week or two, they know everybody. It's always interesting to get in these things and you never quite know what's going on. So I'm talking this morning and I was retrospectively looking at my last couple of days, kind of contemplating how my days have gone, how I feel about it. Because as you know, if we can retrospectively contemplate our days, did we get a good day that we wanted yesterday? Well, how can we prospectively make that today? How can we create it? So I'm thinking that way back. And this whole label thing had been on my mind a bit since last week. Then it came up on this call. And the question was, have you ever wondered how having a label is impacting your life? Now, maybe you haven't thought about labels, except on the back of a Diet Dr. Pepper, which I have in front of me, one in about 2 years. Checking the labels, making sure it still doesn't have any calories. Not that kind of label. The kind of label that is you. So an interesting story about labels that kind of works for today's context is many, many years ago. I'm thinking about 2005, maybe 4, maybe a little bit before that. It was before I started doing what I do now. I was running a television and radio and film production company, and my job as a producer-director guy that ran the place was to produce things and to hire people to help me produce them. So I was on the phone talking to a videographer, a director of photography, a cinematographer. I say this because I didn't know who I was talking to, but he wanted basically to come and record videos or shoot film for me. That's what he wanted. And so I got to the place where I was interviewing and I said, okay, what do you do exactly? He said, well, I'm a cinematographer. I'm a lighting director. I can do some audio. I said, no, what do you do exactly? Well, I don't know if I'd pin myself down. Really, I can do whatever you need. Okay, well, that's cool. That's cool. Different category, though. But what do you do exactly so I know where to put you? And we eventually settled on, I don't remember, a long time ago. We settled on something. But the point was this. The software I was using at the time was kind of like a human brain at the time. It didn't have all the tags and stuff we have today. It had just one place. I could type in one thing, and that's what he did. If I put a comma in there, it wouldn't take it. It just took basically one word. I know. That's what it used to be. Crazy. He blocked himself from so much because he couldn't define exactly who he was. So labels are interesting. So when you label yourself, what are you doing? You're identifying yourself to you. It's your identity on the inside. It's knowing who you are. And you're identifying who you are to the world all at the same time. So in the past, we pretty much only had one way to identify ourselves. That's what we were known for. You don't have to go back very far to know that. Depending on how long you've been alive, if you're under 30, you have no idea what I'm talking about. If you're under 40, maybe. If you're over 40, you probably got an idea. You used to have a job description, a title, a thing you did. If you didn't, you were just a jack of all trades. Or as I used to put, Jack. Today, we have so many labels. And I guess it just kind of goes that way. That's good. In a way, but too many labels are a problem. We seem to have like 1,000 mini identities that we deploy just depending on who we are, where we are, what we're doing, who we're hanging out with. Kind of crazy. Now, modern day computers, depending on what you're doing, you might notice this term called tags. They're everywhere. They're on note-taking applications. They're on CRMs. They're on everything. Tag this, tag that. I stopped using Evernote because tags got messy. Because if you hang around tags long enough, and if you really have to work for a living with them, the first thing you learn to understand is A, you got to keep them very organized, and B, you want as few as possible. If you're unorganized, your life is unorganized. If you have too many, you don't know what you got. So if you've ever done that in a computer app, you know to maintain it. And typically when people get in trouble, it's because they got too many tags and they're disorganized. So I ask you a question. Have you tagged yourself? Labeled yourself? With too many of them? Are you drifting all over? Depending on the moment, depending on the time, depending on how you feel. Are you living one label and it kind of thinking about another? If somebody asks you what you do you give them the one you're thinking about or the one you are, the one you used to be? Which one is it? Or is it a variety of them in between? Because these days we have the capacity to take all these tags, but is it doing you any good? I'm guessing not. Because one thing hasn't changed over time, and that is that people just want to know what they're getting into. Whether it's business or personal, they just want to know What's your name? What do you do? They want to know a little bit of your story. And the simpler it is, the better it is to communicate, and the easier it is for you to be yourself in front of everybody else instead of saying, where's that tag? Which tag am I today? Which tag was I at church? Which tag was I at school? Which tag do I use in business? And when I go on social media, oh my God, how many do I use? Homework assignment. If you could only put one label / tag on yourself, one label that represented who you truly are on the inside, one label that everybody instantly understood who you were. They saw right through you. They saw what talk you walked. If you could, what would it be? And you can, and if you do, life will change. Labels. All powerful. All right, let's get out of here. I'm going to work on my voice. I'm going to take a pill because I gave you a pill to take. Maybe I'll feel better tomorrow. I feel better already just knowing I'm going to feel better, but we'll see. You know how that works. Isn't that awesome? See you tomorrow.
Keep moving. Gotta get back up. What? Keep moving.